All right, we'll get underway here. We're joined by Dallas Wings Executive Vice President and General Manager Curt Miller. Curt will make a brief opening statement and then we'll open to questions. Again, use the raise hand function and we'll get to as many of you as possible before we had to head to the airport. So, Curt, take it away.
Welcome, everybody. Exciting night back here in Dallas and sending our good luck charm, Maddie Seacrest, to the draft lottery again to secure the number one pick for a second year in a row. Huge momentum moment for our franchise. Exciting times with our young core and new facilities coming on board and a new coach. What another great momentum for the Dallas Wings tonight. We can't be more excited.
Go to Dud Feinberg to open it up.
Hey, Kirk, congratulations, man. 2 years in a row. Um, this there isn't a consensus number one like there was last year with Paige. So what are you evaluating for when you're going to actually make this pick in hopefully April next, I guess, 5 months from now?
Yeah, I think a lot goes into this one, Doug, with an expansion draft of two teams on the horizon, an unprecedented free agency will all kind of play into it. You heard on the telecast them talking about a lot of teams not having very many players under contract. We're fortunate to be a younger team with more players under contract, but still, after the expansion draft, after free agency, will all play a part in the decision heading into the collegiate draft in April. And as you said, I think the great thing about this draft is a lot of optionality coming out of some other upcoming big roster momentum times. So the optionality that we're going to have as we approach April is going to be really important for us.
We'll go to Rashad Miller. Rashad, go ahead.
Hey, Kurt, how's it going? My question is, like, have you and Jose already talked about, of course, you guys were in the lottery, just talk about what that potential top five pick would look like and how they could help the team, especially after how last season went.
Yeah, Rashad, obviously, Jose and I are very much aligned in speaking every day when we're not together. We've been, scouting aggressively already. Travis Charles and Jasmine Thomas and myself, of the three GMs, have already spent 2 weeks overseas. We're constantly at college games or watching college games, even when we're not in there in person. So, the evaluation of this draft class is ongoing. And Jose and I constantly talk about what that could potentially mean for us as we enter the 26th season.
We'll go to Ben Pickman.
Thanks, Pam. Two quickies, one light one. I know, Kurt, last year during the lottery, you had some plane issues in terms of not being able to get to Dallas, so you had to do it in LA. I saw you tweeting yesterday about some baggage issues involving airlines. I was wondering if you thought about that being your good luck charm on lottery weekend.
Yeah, Ben, good perception. Obviously had flight problems. Didn't get to Dallas last year for the draft lottery. This year tried to get to the Yukon Michigan game. Got canceled twice with a big storm in Dallas. Ultimately lost my luggage. It was a fiasco, 48 hours, but maybe I need to have flight problems every draft time of the year. Maybe that's our good luck charm. But unfortunately, didn't get to be at the Yukon Michigan game in person, but was able to watch it. And what a night for us tonight.
And what was your reaction when you won it, when you saw the numbers, Bethany revealing them, and then you guys 2-1?
Yeah, I felt more nerves this year than I did last year, surprisingly. But when we got past three, you knew anything could happen. We didn't want to be three, so we knew we were going to be one or two. And when it was announced, it just what comes to my mind as a GM is so much optionality. I think it's fair to say we received very few phone calls about the number one pick last year. The last couple of years have been consensus and probably pretty obvious teams weren't going to trade their number one pick. I've received more pre-phone calls before people even knew where we would be drafting about this year's draft than I did all of last year. So again, that optionality is going to be really key for us.
We'll go to Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you, Pam. Congratulations on winning number one overall pick, Kurt. Paige Becker's last year, she made an immediate impact as the number one pick. So what qualities are most important for the 2026 number one pick in helping the Wings right away and the team's core? And what message do you have for Wings fan who can eagerly await the number one pick's impact not only with the Wings, but with the Dallas sports scene?
Yeah, I just think it's an exciting time. I know the fans were disappointed last year with the win-loss record, but a lot of good things happened with our young core. Unfortunately, injuries really decimated our team, but it gave even more rookies and young players an opportunity to really learn baptism by fire. So I think that's really going to catapult us into this year now, before we even have free agency, knowing that we have the number one pick. Just a really special time. I know our ticket takers are in the office tonight on a Sunday night. We were hoping for this result and generating even more season ticket sales. So, my message is go get your season tickets. It's going to be a really bounce back year for the Dallas Wings. And we're really excited and know what this pick can do for us.
Thank you, Kurt.
We'll go to Aya Abdeen.
Hey Pam, thank you Pam for the opportunity. It's Aya Abdeen for Ball is Life. It's good talking to you. So I have two questions. Knowing that you were a part of the Connecticut Suns turnaround in the 2010s, how are you taking this approach as you head into your second WNBA draft with the Dallas Wings?
Yeah, I think obviously that turnaround really began in the second year at Connecticut, and the culture was created, and the draft class of 2016 really energized that Connecticut Sun roster and franchise, and really built them back into a dominant team there. For 6 years, we led the league in wins. So I'm excited, that our young core group is going to have another opportunity to add a piece to that. It's an exciting time with a new coach that is a proven winner and a very experienced coming from the collegiate game. And with new facilities on the horizon, it's a fun time for us to continue to go out in free agency. And it's a great time to be a Dallas Wings fan.
And another question coming from me, when you're looking at different types of options as well with our fam, Senator from Spain and especially Lauren Betts, how are you looking to evaluate who to pair with Paige Beckers, who won the Rookie of the Year this year?
Yeah, again, the optionality. What's the biggest need? Who's the best player? And then it all starts with who's going to be a great teammate. That culture is so important for us. We want to win in the locker room before we win on the court. Despite our win-loss record last year, our locker room was really together. That was a credit to our outgoing coaching staff. It was a credit to our players. They really bonded. They played. They had an incredible relationships off the floor, which I think is key in the starting of something special. And we want to add to that chemistry. We want to add to that culture.
Thank you.
We'll go to Nikias.
Hi, Kurt. Congratulations. I wanted to ask, has anything from this past season shifted the way that you evaluate players and the player archetypes that you may want to add to this roster?
One more time.
I said, did anything from this past season, league-wide trends or anything like that, shift the way that you prioritize certain player archetypes as you look to add to this roster?
Yeah, I think the game continues to modernize. I think it's been years now where very much the game has trickled down from the NBA and the G League and Euro League, where we're playing more five out. It's a lot of threes and a lot of, at the rim is the way modern basketball has gone. We have the elite mid-range jump shooter in the game, so we're going to continue to take mid-range jump shots with allowing Paige to get to her sweet spot because she's so efficient at that. But all those trends and the modernizing of basketball, you need bigs to be able to facilitate, to be able to be on the perimeter, screening and rolling and into DHOs. You need shooters. Through our injuries, one of the things that really impacted our three-point shooting was injuries. We've got to continue to increase our three-point shooting. We just need versatility. And again, once we know how we come out of the expansion draft and players that we unfortunately will lose to Portland and Toronto, and then free agency, it will really play a part in entering what the biggest needs are and the best players as this season goes along and collegiately and internationally. And we'll make a good decision at that point.
Got you. Thank you.
We'll go to Christos.
Hey, Kurt, hope you're doing well, first of all. Having the number one pick for a second year in a row in this WNBA draft, and the level of competition is higher compared to the previous years. Do you view that this season's number one pick will be probably one of the most pivotal for the future of the Wings organization, about the future and the chemistry and the team that you try to build?
Yes, certainly view this as an integral piece moving forward, a core piece to continue to build. You see in recent draft classes what consecutive number ones can do. Vegas had consecutive number ones that, it continued into 3 straight number ones, and then the acquisition of Chelsea Gray and what that did for the Vegas franchise. Back-to-back number ones for Indiana. You know how they're set up for more success with consecutive number ones. Now we have it. So, teams in recent years in the WNBA have really been built through the draft. And when they're built through the draft, then player acquisition through trades and free agency, other players want to play with great players. Paige is a magnet. People want to play with great players. We still have one of the great players in our franchise history, Enrique, on the roster, and a young core group that's really talented. So we're really excited about our future, and tonight is another big step.
Go to Brendan.
Hi, Kurt. Congratulations. Two-parter, if I may. You talked a lot about optionality, and without a consensus number one selection this year, do you think that makes your job more difficult, or is the decision-making process more difficult in that area? And also the same question when deciding what players to protect from the expansion draft.
Yeah, I think the league-wide, I think we have a difficult decision on our protections. I'm not the only GM that's going to have sleepless nights. Nearly every day we talk about our protections and what potentially that could look like in the expansion draft. Obviously, free agency is top of mind of everyone as we get a new CBA ratified on this, unprecedented free agency. But does it make it harder? No, I think it's an exciting time. And as I shared, I believe more trade phone calls are going to come across our desk for this number one than have for number one picks in multiple years now. The Caitlin Clark draft, there was not going to be a trade. Paige was not going to be traded, but it will be interesting and makes our job fun to listen to those phone calls that come in for the number one pick, and we'll do what's best for our franchise and the best way we think building towards a championship.
Thank you, Kurt.
Go to Ivan Parker.
Hey, Kurt, congratulations on getting the number one pick. And we've already jumped on that hype train where we've gotten our season tickets. But just a quick question. So there seemed to be an emphasis on growing the team's identity internationally with 3 players on the roster. How do you describe the profile of the ideal number one pick for the Dallas Wings?
Yeah, I think the profile is a great character piece, someone that's going to champion in the locker room and represent us not only on the court, but even more importantly in the community, and really galvanize as we transition into new facilities, into Dallas from Arlington, Texas. We're looking that archetype is just an incredible human and, someone that brings a lot of character to the table. But also what we're going to hang our hat on under Jose and you've heard him mention it already in his short time with us, is we're going to play the right way, and we're going to play really hard. We're going to be really committed to preparation. We're going to be really committed to the day in and day out grind and the monotony that it takes, master that monotony of day in and day out to have the habits and have the necessary, preparation in order to win. And that's the type of person that we want to bring in, someone that is going to grind day in and day out, have great character, and represent us 24/7.
Go
Thank
to
you.
Grant.
I had a question just about your thoughts on just some of the skill sets of the players in this class for people who may not be watching closely or unable to. Just what are some things that stand out to you about just some of the top projected prospects?
Yeah, I think you saw on the telecast tonight, it covers the gamut. You have a great passer and leader from the point guard position. You have one of the best shooters, that we've seen in a long time, one of the fastest releases. You have, a transition player that really thrives in the full court and in transition offense. You got a bona fide big time scorer that's led the nation. You got two post players, that are projected to be in these top six. An international young phenom that's still 19, and the center out in UCLA and Lauren Betts, and her great size in that great program. So you heard it on the telecast tonight. There are six prospects that have really, separated, and there's going to be more that have great, outstanding seasons that join these conversations. But, it really is spread out talent-wise with those six, and they all bring something very, very special to the table.
Last question to Brad.
Yeah, hi, Coach. How are you? You mentioned the ticket people on a Sunday evening. Brand new head coach. He had a great press conference last month. Can you just speak of the total effort that the organization is doing to bring a winner to Dallas?
Yeah, one of the things that it's so special to be a part of right now is the commitment from above, from our ownership group and led by our managing partner and CEO Greg Bibb. We feel it, the incredible commitment to the player experience and the incredible commitment to take this to a completely different level, with a commitment also from the city of Dallas with the practice facility and soon to be renovated arena in downtown Dallas. There's just a full commitment from top to bottom and ownership to really invest and to really provide an opportunity for these players to be treated the way that they should be treated. And you're feeling it. There's definitely franchises out there that you feel that with, and other franchises that still have to catch up. And we are one of the teams that you are really starting to feel that there's absolutely a commitment from the top. And so truly excited about where this franchise is going. We're going to be young, but we're going to be exciting. And we think we're putting a lot of processes and people in place to build what we want to ultimately build.
Curt, thank you so much. We'll share this recording here to you all. If you all need anything else from us, let us know. Thanks.
Thank you.